Hello, in this tutorial video I will explain how to handle domination cards in the game of Galactic Era. In the first part of this video I will explain the rules, and in the second part I will give some strategy hints. So everybody gets these cards in the game of Galactic Era. These are secret objectives. You will be able to play exactly 2 of them, and you mainly get points through them. So each card has a large A section at the top, a large section at the top we call A section, and a small section at the bottom we call the B section. You can play your card anytime during the game, and you play it either for the top, the A section, or the B section. If you want to play it for the top, you need to fulfill this condition in the middle here, and if you fulfill that condition you get the points as shown here in the top right corner, and you also get an immediate effect which is shown here just below. When you play a card for the A effect, you place it to the top left side of your technology track. And when you play a card for the B effect, then you place it to the bottom left side of your technology track. You can play exactly 1 card for the A effect, then your other card must be for the B effect. Alternatively, you can also play both of your cards for the B effect. You also have the option at the start of the 3rd round to swap your card. If you want to do so, this happens in turn order. So if you want to do so, you place your card at the bottom of the deck and take a new card from the top of the deck. You can do this again at the start of the 7th round. But if you have not played any card at all yet, then you simply draw a card from the top of the deck and now have 2 cards. If you've already played a card then you can also swap your card for a new card, like at the beginning of the 3rd round. So now I will give some strategy hints on the game. But first, a spoiler alert. If you want to discover these strategies yourself, then I suggest you finish watching this video now. Okay, so the first thing to know about domination cards, it is that it is unlikely that you will just happen to draw a card late in the game that you fulfill by chance. So you need to decide early what to do with the card that you get at setup at the start of the game. You basically have 3 different options what to do. The first one is that you try to fulfill the card. The second one is that you try to get a different card. And the third one is that you just ignore the card altogether. So the first option, trying to fulfill your card. The first thing to know about trying to fulfill your card is that you need to start working on your card early, by at least the 3rd round, especially if it is a high scoring card, because these are even higher to fulfill. So you won't be able to fulfill a card if you start working on it very late in the game, like the 7th or the 8th round. Also, if the card has a very useful immediate effect, you will want to fulfill it earlier so you can get the benefit of the immediate effect. If the card requires a certain technology, then prioritize that technology over the other ones and do it and start on it early. This technology will be more useful to you than the other technologies because of the immediate effect that you will get when you play this card. What will also help you in fulfilling many cards are additional actions. So you get additional actions by having a 5 population star that is not your home star. So the second option, getting a different card. What you do then is in the first 2 rounds of the game, you use a remote view to look at the top card of the deck, and then you will see if it is a better card or not. If it is a better card, then you can play your current card for the B effect, get the points for that, and then you immediately draw the card from the top of the deck and get that. This works if the B effect of your first card is about 3 or 4 points, which is a decent amount of points to get for the B effect. A good amount of points is about 5 points or more, but you will usually only get so many points late in the game for a B effect. Alternatively, instead of playing a card for the B effect to get a different card, you can wait till the start of the 3rd round. And if you are first in turn order, then you can just simply swap out your card for the card at the top of the deck. If the card at the top of the deck is no good, then you can wait till the 3rd round and somebody else will most likely have taken that card, so there will be a new card at the top of the deck to look at, and then you can look at it again with the remote view and see if it is any better, and then play your card for the B effect, get the points, and then you draw your second card. If you don't have spirituality, you don't have any remote views to look at the top of the deck, then it might be an option to research spirituality at the start, during your first or second round, to get it, just to do that. So you might also think that, yeah, remote views are pretty valuable earlier in the game. Why should I spend it looking at the top card of the deck, especially if I find it's a bad card? So it is useful to you to know the top card of the deck, even if it's a bad card, because somebody else will be taking that card, and then you will know that that person has that card, and it will give you some insight into what that other player will be doing during the game. So now the third option, ignoring your card that you got at the game and not trying to get a better card. So although it is usually better to try to fulfill an A effect of one of your cards, you can, in some circumstances, ignore your cards altogether and also not try to get a different card. I would say under these three conditions, it's a possibility. First of all, you have a relatively good B effect that you think you can score 5 points or so towards the end of the game. You don't want to risk getting another card, a worse card, from drawing another card. And also you don't have any remote views to look at the top card of the deck. Then it's a possibility to try and ignore your cards, especially so you will need to have some other goal that you can focus on instead that will give you a lot of points, which can, for example, be the galactic goal, or you can go for genetics, which will also give you a lot of points. Under these circumstances, it's an option to try to ignore your card, but you must keep in mind that you will lose about 5 points and the benefit of the media effect if you do not go for the A section of a card. Here are some final remarks on domination cards. First of all, at the start of the game, you will get 2 star people tiles to choose from, and you can base this decision, which one to take, upon the domination card you also get then. So you can choose the star people that fits better with your domination card, and that will make it easier to fulfill that domination card. So if, for example, one of the star peoples gives you an extra level in a technology that is required to fulfill your domination card, that would be a good match. They would complement each other better then. Another thing you can do to minimize randomness at setup is use the deterministic setup rules variant. This will give you 5 domination cards to choose from at the start of the game, among other things that will minimize luck at setup. One more thing to keep in mind: if you are a new player to the game and on your first game you were not able to fulfill any of your cards, don't be discouraged, because as an experienced player you will find it a lot easier to fulfill domination cards than if it is your first game of Galactic Era.